For centuries, education has followed a traditional path, with classrooms and textbooks as its cornerstone. In-person learning has long been the norm, emphasizing the essential human need for social connection and physical interaction. Yet, traditional learning has its limitations. Rising costs, accessibility barriers, and limited engagement have challenged its efficacy. Enter e-learning, a transformative solution in our globalized, digitalized world. These tools aim to amplify reach, offer flexibility, and unlock the potential for personalized learning experiences. But how much do they actually work? First off, we should talk about what we mean by e-learning tools. They're digital resources empowering learners to access targeted training and knowledge. From online communication tools such as Teams, online certification websites, training platforms and courses, or even internal school resources. E-learning was always destined to expand, but one event in particular ignited its widespread global adoption.
Dès demain, midi, et pour 15 jours au moins, nos déplacements seront très fortement réduits.
On March 12, 2020, the French government announced unprecedented changes to deal with the arrival of the pandemic.
progression du coronavirus en France.
كورونا فيروسني كانسنشتا بفيروس كورونا المستجد تم تأكيدها
dịch Covid-19, các ngành
Schools shuttered, workplaces emptied, and daily routines were upended. The impact was profound, disrupting learning for millions and reshaping how we work and connect.
Well, e-learning tools in terms of popularity and professional training have obviously ballooned post-COVID-19. Obviously, it depends on the courses and depends on the subject that you're learning. The effectiveness of e-learning cannot be doubted. It's been studied on a number of scientific studies. So, for example, we have at KEDGE the course that's called Business Research Skills and Methods. What we try and do is prepare a student a learning path for every week. There is a small submission deadline. It isn't a major task, but it's a small task that somebody has to do on a regular basis. That allows students to develop a routine, and that's for those students who actually follow that routine, they are not surprised or they don't have a big shock then at the end of the course when they have to put all those learnings together. We have grown to like this process, and we have a weekly face-to-face element where I try and clarify points with the students which cannot be easily responded to by email. For the levels of engagement of students, it's obviously quite an issue in terms of students, especially in larger groups. It's quite difficult for a tutor to really get to know each one of the individuals in the group, and obviously tools can help me to see whether somebody is asleep, checking their Facebook profile, or is with me during the course. It also helps me to understand whether my explanation of a subject area was clear or not. We are increasingly moving to the idea of edutainment, so unfortunately concentration spans of students are not improving, and unless there is something that's interactive, something that's capturing their attention, we do have a major problem for the future. Yet again, if you're in multi-language settings and you're having students from different programs or on the same program following different paths, somebody is on internships, somebody who is on a study visit, where they might be having different time zones or perhaps difficulties with the internet access, that creates a technical challenge which we cannot really control for. The tools that we have, they all try to recreate what the face-to-face interaction has, and the closer we get to the face-to-face interaction, obviously the greater is the efficiency. Fully online courses obviously increase that autonomy of learning. So for a student, if you have been able to complete and follow a fully online course, it does speak more about your ability than about your professor's ability to help you with that particular course as well. A lot of students are happy with the use of their devices now in the classroom. So I don't think that we should be fighting them, but should embrace it. But of course, they have limitations, and especially for the soft skills.
In today's fast-paced world, e-learning is transforming education by offering unparalleled benefits to both students, educators, and companies. With e-learning, educational resources are just a click away. Accessible anytime from anywhere with an internet connection, it breaks down geographical barriers, time constraints, and mobility limitations, allowing learning on your schedule. Plus, it is cost-effective. E-learning slashes expenses like travel, printed materials, and facility rentals, making education much more affordable and sustainable. On top of that, the variety of content, videos, simulations, quizzes, cater to diverse learning styles, which could enhance engagement. Meanwhile, real-time tracking and reporting provide educators with invaluable insights into learner progress.
Most of the things we go through now and we use now are going through technology. E-learning now is kind of the next step of how you learn, how you grow, how you ask yourself questions going online. I consume a lot of e-learning, whether it's for online certification. So most of the things we do on a regular basis, we need to stay up to date, which is something I do consume on my own, and I invite my students, even as a teacher, to consume. With the digitization of learning, you have more accessibility and flexibility. We're not all equal. Sometimes people are able to focus and the attention span is biggest at this time of the night. This is where I'm productive, this is where I can focus. Of course, you have this all accessibility thing and flexibility, but with this often comes laziness. The main challenge for me is this: the engagement, making sure people are staying and remain focused. And on e-learning, this is way more complicated, because the only thing you can offer to something or someone is the attention, your attention, and the time you spend on this. Making sure you grasp as much attention as possible during the time you have is key. It's impossible for you to gather the same level of attention in a room with someone, with an actual human being teaching you, an actual expert, knowing what he talks about and being able to bring you to the next level. When you learn something, the thing you need the most is feedback. Sometimes you read about something new, you think you know it, but because you can't really try it in the real world, you don't really know how good you are at this and can really doubt yourself. I do not see this replacing completely, let's say, traditional learning or traditional teaching or stuff like this. With the world we live in, we see that people want more and more customized experiences, and it goes up to the way they work. Only remote is not, in my opinion, allowing that. Being flexible on this, super good, super important. Loads of people can do remote working and are super comfortable with doing remote working. Some people's aren't, just can't even figure or fathom the idea of working each and every day at their place. Even if you're doing remote working, doesn't mean you need to do home working. If yourself at home is not a good environment to focus and concentrate, try somewhere else. Try to go at the nearby coffee or different places that offer good Wi-Fi. And the time you're using usually to go to your job or do something, just take it to go outside. Something like this that helps you out. Put yourself in a work mode.
We humans naturally crave social connections and interactions. Without the immediate support that face-to-face interactions provide, individuals may experience increased stress and anxiety. And I've noticed that with e-learning and remote work, it's getting worse. Also, the lack of physical presence can hinder the development of a sense of belonging within a team. This can affect engagement levels and overall job satisfaction. Remote work environments often blur the boundaries between professional and personal life, making it difficult for people to disconnect and recharge. It's very essential to establish clear boundaries between study or work time and personal time. This involves setting specific hours for engaging with e-learning tools and committing to disconnecting outside of those times. Also, prioritizing self-care activities outside of e-learning or work, such as hobbies or spending time with loved ones. Several positive impacts that I have observed of e-learning and remote work on individuals. There's this aspect of flexibility. So both e-learning and remote work provide people with flexibility to manage their schedules according to their needs and preferences. I've also noticed an increased productivity among some people that engage in remote work. Similarly, e-learning allows students to progress through material at their own pace, which could potentially lead to enhanced learning outcomes. If individuals find themselves feeling overwhelmed or constantly stressed about their workload, deadlines, performance expectations, this could indicate that the demands of remote learning or work are negatively affecting their mental well-being. Another warning sign could be difficulty concentrating or motivating themselves. Another is physical symptoms like headaches, fatigue, sleep problems, changes in appetite. This could be a manifestation of stress, anxiety, or depression. Lastly, people should watch out for feelings of burnout, such as feelings of exhaustion, cynicism maybe, reduced productivity, or sudden changes in mood, such as feeling down and finding it hard to find pleasure in activities.
And there are even more drawbacks than first meet the eye when it comes to e-learning. The lack of face-to-face interaction can really hinder teamwork and collaborative efforts, which requires full engagement and clear communication from all parties. Another concern is the potential for dishonesty. With remote assessments, ensuring academic integrity becomes more complex, raising questions about the reliability of evaluation methods. Information overload is another issue. The vast amount of online content can overwhelm learners, leading to difficulty in prioritizing and absorbing essential knowledge. And without direct contact to guidance, this can feel even more isolating and confusing. And this very sentiment was echoed by students we talked to.
I definitely prefer traditional learning.
The traditional one. L'éducation traditionnelle. Traditional learning.
Traditional one. Traditional learning. Traditional learning.
Éducation traditionnelle.
Overall, most respondents prefer traditional learning over e-learning, clearly showing it might not be the solve-all solution we expected it to be.
Je trouve qu'il y a ce côté un peu plus contact humain, relationnel.
I think that having a professor close to you, it's very important.
On peut échanger avec le professeur, poser des questions, etc.
And I can also interact with my classmates.
Il y aura peut-être plus d'impact et on sera peut-être moins apte à décrocher en cours.
Surtout aujourd'hui, on se distrait beaucoup plus facilement, notamment avec l'utilisation des réseaux sociaux et tout.
Il y a des cours qui doivent se faire en présentiel, c'est-à-dire des cours un peu plus techniques.
En général, je trouve que la méthode, on apprend beaucoup mieux quand on est présent sur place.
Coincidentally, it is only natural that these trends went beyond the world of academia and also influenced professional settings. The use of e-learning turns full-time employees into lifelong learners by allowing them to access training programs and resources to enhance their capabilities and stay competitive in the evolving job market. Proficiency in digital tools and platforms is also essential in remote work environments. Recruiters will typically prioritize candidates who demonstrate strong digital literacy and a proactive approach to leveraging technology for productivity and innovation. In parallel, remote working, despite all of the challenges it might create, does allow companies to tap into a wider talent pool, thus finding the best fit for the job without geographical boundaries. But despite that, it seems many companies are still opposed to full remote working. Nicolas, CEO of L'Oréal, is himself completely opposed to it, citing social isolation, unfairness, and mental health as key reasons. And it seems he is not alone in that. According to a recent study, in France, remote workers were 30% less likely to be promoted in 2023. It seems the lack of social bonds or the lack of control for some managers may be a hindrance on professional growth. Overall, it is clear that the arrival of those new ways of working will require adaptability and flexibility from managers in order for their teams to thrive.
Mon avis général dans le domaine de l'e-learning, c'est que je pense que ça a apporté beaucoup de positifs. Je pense notamment aux formations en anglais où beaucoup de gens s'aident justement à l'aide de ce type de plateforme pour s'améliorer dans plein d'autres domaines. Par contre, je pense que le fait de l'avoir poussé dans le domaine de l'éducation n'est pas forcément positif. Je pense qu'il est important d'avoir du présentiel, notamment quand on est dans une formation initiale. Je pense que l'e-learning, ça a changé beaucoup de pratiques, mais ça a changé surtout beaucoup de mentalité. Il y a beaucoup de gens maintenant qui ont adopté ces pratiques et qui veulent les conserver. Donc je pense qu'en effet, ça a changé beaucoup de choses aujourd'hui. Alors je pense forcément que les examens qui sont faits en distanciel, il y a peut-être plus de facilité aussi forcément de tricher ou de céder d'autres outils qui sont disponibles quand on est chez soi. Et en termes de compétences techniques, comme je l'ai dit, je pense que vraiment l'aide d'un professeur directement ou tout simplement des étudiants qui sont autour de nous, ça peut vraiment aider. C'est vrai que je vais lire peut-être plus attentivement les CV des personnes qui font des formations en ligne. J'ai quand même 2 personnes dans l'entreprise, 2 alternants qui ont des formations en ligne. Donc je suis habituée. Par contre, je fais très attention à que ce soit des personnes qui soient sociables, qui soient autonomes, qui soient responsables à travers des entretiens téléphoniques et après à travers un entretien en physique. Alors nous, du coup, à chaque fin d'année, lors de l'entretien individuel, on propose à chaque salarié de nous dire sur quoi il aimerait être formé, que ce soit à titre personnel ou professionnel. C'est pas forcément pour augmenter ses compétences dans notre société, mais peut-être pour lui aussi à titre personnel. Pour tout ce qui est télétravail, je dois avouer qu'on est totalement contre à l'entreprise. C'est pas du tout une pratique qu'on met en place, tout simplement parce que on estime que chez nous, c'est le fait d'être tous ensemble, d'être réunis, le fait de faire des réunions en présentiel qui fait que ça active justement les idées, ça active le développement. Et je pense que toute cette partie créativité, on ne peut pas la développer quand on est chez soi. C'est pour ça que personnellement, je ne le mets pas en place au sein de ma société. Alors c'est vrai que c'est une réelle pression depuis le Covid parce que aujourd'hui, c'est un acquis. C'est-à-dire qu'on rentre dans une entreprise, on demande combien de jours j'ai de télétravail avant même de me demander souvent est-ce qu'il y a du télétravail dans l'entreprise. Tout récemment, j'ai un de mes salariés qui m'a demandé, qui a essayé de négocier 2 jours de télétravail dans l'entreprise. J'ai refusé parce que c'est la mentalité de l'entreprise, mais aussi parce que j'ai 2 logisticiens qui, eux, n'ont pas la possibilité d'être en télétravail. J'ai des alternants et j'estime que les alternants, pour un alternant en tout cas, c'est hyper important d'être au sein de l'entreprise pour apprendre. Et du coup, par souci d'équité, j'avais pas envie de donner juste le télétravail à 2 personnes dans l'entreprise. Les autres auraient été forcément frustrés et du coup, j'estime que tout le monde doit avoir les mêmes avantages dans l'entreprise.
We presented 2 professionals with 2 very similar CVs, except for one key distinction. Hugo relied mostly on online schooling and certifications, whereas Arthur had a more traditional in-person schooling. Here's what they thought.
Hugo, in my opinion, is someone that's really autonomous, super capable of learning things on its own. The thing is he going to be able to work in a team? Team spirit and collaboration is super important in the company. So this would be mostly what I will be challenging on its profile. Arthur, on his kind, it's more of a regular profile that you can see on average. So behind the skills, I want actual experiences, and if you don't have actual experiences to show it off, certifications.
Mon avis général sur les 2 CV que j'ai pu étudier, ils sont assez similaires en termes de compétences. Donc je pense que les 2 CV les 2 personnes seront vraiment à recevoir en entretien. Après, voilà, je vois qu'il y a une formation qui est en ligne, une formation qui est en présentiel. C'est vrai que la formation en ligne aujourd'hui c'est très pratique. Par contre, je suis pas forcément pour parce que je pense que la personne aura peut-être moins d'interaction avec son professeur, pourra peut-être moins apprendre. Et du coup, je pense malheureusement que la formation de la personne qui est en ligne sera peut-être un petit peu moins bonne que celle qui est en présentiel.
There is no doubt that e-learning has reshaped the world of education and will continue to do so. From schools in developing countries using online courses and collaborative platforms to provide higher quality of education, to corporate training teams leveraging gamified simulations and micro-learning modules to increase employee engagement and skill development, all the way to self-directed learners using interactive tutorials and online communities to master a new skill on their own schedule. As we look into the future of learning, technology emerges as a powerful ally, transforming education into personalized, engaging, and accessible experiences for all. Artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and augmented reality are also becoming tools revolutionizing education, offering customized learning paths and immersive experiences that cater to individual needs and learning styles. Educators' roles are also evolving from content creators to learning facilitators, harnessing technology to provide personalized guidance and support, ensuring every learner reaches their full potential.
E-learning tools is just a tool. It's like anything. So if you have a phone, if you know what to do with it, you can do amazing recordings, you can do amazing activities. If you have no idea what to do with it, it remains a tool.
The future of e-learning is bright and boundless, powered by innovation and driven by the pursuit of knowledge, but only to those that can take full advantage of these opportunities.